Hey y'all there, virtual farmers and builders. Thanks for clicking and welcome. Today I'm doing a small build on Garden Paws to show one of my favorite builder tricks, which is using some of the infrastructure pieces amongst our building assets to create layered creations with tiers. If you're looking for the basics on how to get started building in Garden Paws, I've linked my starter guide up in the corner there. The use of pieces like wooden platforms, the wooden overpass, and foundations can help you create a whole new canvas for builds when shaping around the landscapes of the Florence map. Unfortunately, we don't have terraforming, but we do have this option. And all these options can be pretty useful, not in constructing just houses or little shops, but also for creating bridges across waterways to islands for easy access. This little build was inspired by a Discord chatter from the Bit and Toast server who is also making a creative cafe idea. So we share ideas and screenshots while waiting for the studio to release their new cozy game. Not already in the Discord? Join us for a wholesome and fun environment to ask questions and share your creative ideas, as well as get updates for the development on the new game. This project will be Palm Paws, a beachside cafe and a spot for relaxation. Since the item shifter allows us a lot of latitude and longitude with exactly how pieces are placed, we can make adjustments as we go along with our builds. I had to do plenty in the process of starting from building a deck for outdoor seating and working my way up to the top floor for the kitchen of this cafe. Game patches would come to include the stone overpass and the assorted bridges, but I wanted to go with a bit of a modern tiki hut look here with the front deck over the water, so this will be using all of the wooden texture pieces. Wooden platforms are definitely a staple to giving a realistic structure to a raised building. Stacking foundations on top of that to give you a good anchor for your wall and window pieces to snap to. I've also chosen to use a lot of plaster walls and half walls as part of the building fascia. These will later be painted with wood texture patterns to fit in with the overall aesthetic. Building around the landscapes of the Garden Paws map takes a bit of fiddling with that item shifter. For those that are unfamiliar with this tool, it allows you to target an object, lock it in if you like, and select from a rotating menu of functions on how to move your building pieces. You can use up, down, right to left, front to back, rotate, and tilt. And if you're in creative mode, you can also clone any piece that your item shifter is targeted at or locked onto. Once you get used to this tool, you can really get into some elaborate construction and get items placed exactly where you want them to go. One other handy thing in creative is this jetpack thing that I'm wearing. It gives you a bit of a boost so that you can always get a better layout view of your project. Pun intended there. If you're in story mode, you can always use the drone camera by hitting F10 to zoom out for an aerial view of your project to get a better idea. When I started this, I didn't have much of a plan in mind, not as far as blueprints go, only the idea of making a cafe somewhere near the water, and I just had to pick the most irritating spot to build in. I certainly could have gone with a flat space along the beach area, but then it wouldn't have given me much of an opportunity to bring up a topic on how to get the most out of building tools in Garden Paws. If you've never really utilized the creative mode on the game, I recommend checking out some of people's screenshots, getting ideas, and then trying to recreate your own vision into the game using the wide assortment of available pieces. It just takes some time and getting accustomed to using the tools, and you'll find yourself with whole new projects in the game. I wanted to go with a lot of glass on this one to showcase the interior as much as possible. But if you were to make your own, the game gives us a good amount of walls and window options to construct buildings. I've always loved this game for the freedom it allows with building. That ultimately there is no restrictions, or that you can easily remove pieces with your hammer without the rest of the building crumbling from lack of substructure. Pillars aren't necessary to hold up the upper floors, but they can add nice trim to everything, and they can be painted into different colors or textures. Capping off any project with a roof has several options of corner walls, ramps, or the corner pieces that produce some different results or can act as joints for multi-tiered roofs. I've had to do some adjusting with my original idea as it didn't really look quite right. I really do wish that we had these corner pieces in glass as well. We could make some really amazing looking greenhouses with those. Unlike a lot of building games where you're bound to snap grids and object collisions, you are able to actually layer objects in Garden Paws. You can place walls back to back and use paintbrushes to have two different textures or colors. So if you wanted to take the time, you could do wood or stone on the outside and plaster walls with color inside. You can also do tricks like sandwiching a glass wall between two windowed walls. It helps give it that extra polish, especially considering paintbrushes can be used to change the color of the window building pieces. Such as in this example build, we're going to use the furniture paintbrush to paint them all into a blue shade. Since this is a little beach build, I decided to do a smoothie shack on the backside of the beach cliff. This is a very simple design that's easy to construct anywhere. It just requires two foundations, stacked on top of some wooden platforms here to fit along the terrain, along with a combination of walls, short walls, and pillars. It's sectioned off into two parts, one for the drink prep and the other covered area for customers. Top it off with a couple more platforms to create a roof, and then it's up to you to decide how to decorate it. On this one, I used a couple of tilted wooden half foundations and a pillar to create a drink-shaped sign. A ton of effort in any work is how you decide to decorate. Oftentimes it's adding all the interior, plants and decor that takes the longest to complete anything, the developers have given us hundreds of objects, which alleviates the problem of empty dwellings, but gives us a whole new one of choice paralysis with so many options. Not that it's a huge problem, I just open up the inventory and start trying out some of the designs. Especially in creative mode, you won't have to go farm any materials, and if you really don't like your final product, you can just delete everything with a hammer and try something else. They've provided a good amount of hedges and greenery to wrap around the wooden platforms and dress up our entire build. I personally love using lots of hedge walls and rose trellises all over everything in my builds. For a beach build such as this one, there's lots of appropriate looking furniture to fit the style, including the Heverly set. I do also love using the love seats from Herb Shop on Cosita as booth seats in a restaurant setup. You can just place in a half wall, put couch pieces on either side of a table to make it work. So this is just a little example of how you can use the infrastructure like pieces in Garden Paws to build creative projects that tie in really nicely with the map. I'm going to throw in some other examples here of how you can use them for making the map more easily traversable and decorative on the outro. If you're looking for more building ideas, please check out the Garden Paws playlist, and if you have any builds you'd like to see, comment down below and I'll see if I can make something work. Take care y'all, and bye bye!